This next-gen demo is presented by State Farm. Hello there, Adam Sessler here, Rev3 Games at E3 at the VivaTouch booth. We are about to see our first PlayStation 4 game. It is Drive Club, and here from Evolution Studios, Paul Rostinsky and Cole Rogers. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations, you had one hell of a night last night.
Yes, we did. Thanks very much.
Really entertaining night.
So, okay, Drive Club, racing game. You guys have background, obviously, in the genre. I can't help but ask, with Sony, there's Polyphony, a storied studio with the racing game. I mean, what is it like kind of getting on the same platform as them? And what is kind of the distinguishing factor about Drive Club from the other very well-known Sony driving franchise?
Oh, well, we're really excited to be part of the Sony racing family. And the big differential is if you imagine the Gran Turismo is almost like a 106-piece orchestra, Drive Club is like going to see your favorite band in concert. So it's it's a much more easygoing, much more social experience than Gran Turismo.
And then also, there's a lot of driving games. It seems to happen at the launch of every new console. I mean, is there any concern about the fact that this is one of many? I mean, I'm allowing you to do your elevator pitch about what is that top-selling aspect about this? We
genuinely feel that the Drive Club has a key differential, and that's the way that it approaches socialization. On top of that, we're actually setting this up for a service model. So ultimately, we're going to be providing the consumers and the community with a whole load of new content every week. So the game's going to grow out of that.
Yeah. And what you find with a lot of driving games is that it's all about one player playing on their own. And Drive Club is all about team play. You're racing not just with with a friend or two. You're racing as part of a club. So it's you guys out on the track, and it doesn't really matter if you win. You're always contributing towards your fame, your cash, and you're always progressing together. So losing isn't necessarily a bad thing because there's always a new objective, or a new goal, or a new challenge to try and beat.
All right, well, let's get to some of the footage here. Now that we've kind of whetted the appetite. So, okay, once again, this is the question I have to keep on asking. This is in-game footage.
It is, yeah.
Absolutely, all
100%.
Mm-hmm.
And how many cars, how many tracks, what's the kind of variety that you're offering the player inside of it?
I think we've got around 54 tracks and 50 cars at launch. So obviously
we're working with all the best manufacturers from all around the world. So as you can see in the trailer, with Audi, BMW, Rough, Mercedes, etc. So you'll see all the biggest and best cars in the game.
And if memory serves me right, when the PlayStation 4 was announced back in February and we first got our introduction to Drive Club, I mean, it was almost pornographic. It looked like the level of detail that you guys are trying to convey. Yeah. I mean, what is that level of fetishization of just what even the interior of the car is like?
We're all real hardcore petrol heads. I mean, ultimately, the extent to which we've gone to model these cars is unsurpassed in racing games before. I went down to see Neil, the lead vehicle artist, a couple of weeks ago, and he was reviewing one of the car models and rejecting it. And when I asked him why, he said because the wrong size screw head was on one of the floor mats. Yeah, that's how crazy this is.
It's that insane. On average, every car is 250,000 polys. And that's just an insane amount of polygons.
I guess there's a unique type of love and affection to automobiles that are that value that much. I want to get back to the social aspect of the game. This obviously is something that's very important, not just to Drive Club, but I think to like the PlayStation 4 as well. It has a lot of this. How will the player be advantageous by taking advantage of the social aspects of the game? How is that going to work and change their experience?
Well, basically, they set up a team with their friends, and what that means is that everything that they do helps their friends along. And the game is completely connected, so anywhere you have an internet connection, you'll be able to see what's going on in Drive Club. We're coming at it from remote play with Vita. You're also going to be able to watch it with the live streaming aspects online with the PlayStation, and on top of that, we're going to have a supporting app for popular mobile handsets. So literally, it's like a social network for racers.
Now, do you see this as everyone's racing at the same time? Because when you think of a racing team, that doesn't mean that you're all on the track at every given moment.
No, it's a combination of this kind of everyone's racing together, but you can also then play solo kind of asynchronous gameplay. So it doesn't matter if your club mates are online at the same time as you. You can send them a challenge, and then on their app you've sent them a challenge, so they can queue that up. So when they turn on their PlayStation 4 in the evening, they can go straight into that challenge and then race against whatever you set up for them.
And I assume that if you have a team, that you can sort of compete against other people's groups and other people's teams. I mean, what are you going to provide to allow people to discover other teams that might be a fun competitor?
Well, it works in much the same way as other social networks, where you'll get suggestions of people that you might know, people with similar interests to you and things like that. Also, the matchmaking system all works to try and find you new competitors in the social scene of Drive Club.
Now, is there a single player mode? I mean, obviously, are you still for the lonely out there? You know, the Sunday driving club. I don't know. I mean, is there a balance that doesn't accommodate them?
Absolutely. I mean, we talk a lot about the social aspects of the game, but there absolutely is a full-blown single-player, mode there. So if you want to play it offline, never connect the game, that's absolutely fine. You can spend hours and hours and hours playing through the single-player campaign. But obviously, the most enjoyable way and the richest way to play the game is connected online. Even if you're playing the single player, you can still, interact with other people. So, you'll be playing the single player races and you'll be going around the corner. Suddenly, a face-off, as we call them, will appear in the corner, and you'll be going head-to-head against someone, even if you're not, racing with them at that time.
And to that point as well, the fact that we've got the asynchronous gameplay, it almost plays like a connected single player anyway. So, we really do blur the boundaries between what's offline and online. So there's something for everyone.
Now, some of this asynchronous play that you're describing, I believe Criterion, played around with this a couple years back with one of the Need for Speed games. I mean, is this a different application of sort of those tables out there and this asynchronous racing? I mean, are you kind of building upon the model that was established?
Well, everything that's been done before, we're building on. It's very much a case of we wanted to sort of separate it from just needing to win. So as Paul suggests, we've got a new system called face-offs, and also we have a system called overdrives, which rewards you for literally everything that you do. So all of this goes into the sort of social scene, and you can pick this up, and you can win even if you're not the greatest racer in the world. It's all about building up your fame score.
Oh, good. It's something there to accommodate someone who sucks like me. My final question. What are you using, especially kind of on the back end of the PlayStation 4, be it the cloud or what may be emerging in Gaikai? Is Drive Club going to be taking advantage of some of those assets?
Yeah, it really is. We're building our own back-end server which sits on the Sony cloud, and that'll mean that we can connect to Drive Club at any point in time. That's how we can make it so socially connected across so many different platforms.
Yeah. And we're very keen to use that as well to push out lots of updates on a regular basis as well. So Drive Club's not a static experience, it's something that's going to evolve over time.
So I have to ask then, if I decided to take my PS4 offline, would I be getting much out of Drive Club?
Absolutely, You'd be getting everything that you've got so far, plus all of the single-player offline experience. So you're never going to run out of things to do in Drive Club.
All right, well, guys, it obviously comes out at the launch of the PlayStation 4, which is a date yet to be determined, but it is this year. Thank you so much. I know you have a long flight to get back to, but I appreciate the time.
Pleasure.
Thanks very much.
Take care.
Thank you.